The trail to Washington has been a long one for Barack Obama. But as he heads into the final stretch, down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House, his journey is not his own. Millions of Americans made the way for him by electing him as their president. But millions more paid the price through struggle, war, and tears to make this historical dream come true.
Because I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
It's a reality that still hasn't hit home for Reverend Orim Meikle of Toronto's Rhema Church. Like many, he got caught up in the 2008 election, but never would have predicted this outcome.
I wrote a blog, and in my blog I said no. I said I didn't feel that America was yet ready for him.
Even after clinching the Democratic nomination, Reverend Meikle was still skeptical. But November 4th changed everything. So what happened?
I think his message, I think America was looking for change. Clearly, I think coming out of the Bush era, they were looking for something drastic.
I'm tired of seeing
the two words that dominated Obama's campaign were hope and change. And it was that message that resonated so deeply within the black community, according to Reverend Meikle. Obama's victory was theirs too.
I think it's vindication for years of, maybe for lack of a better term, years of oppression, feeling like they were second class, that they were somehow not able to crack that ceiling and get into a significant place of authority and power. As I said to you before, most of our role models are entertainers, athletes, things of that nature, people of that nature. But I think he provides a different perspective for us to let us know that, guess what, we can aspire to those positions of authority and power, and we can do that because he's done that.
And now it's time to celebrate. The inauguration will be unprecedented in numbers, security, and symbolism.
I didn't think I would live to see this coming. I thought maybe way in the future, but it's just a blessing that it's happening now.
Obama mania hasn't just hit south of the border. Canadians have been caught up in this historic moment as well. And while thousands have made their way across the border to witness the inauguration, millions more will be glued to their TV sets to see history in the making. And even in Niagara Falls, a natural wonder, tourists were talking about that other wonder, especially Americans.
It's definitely a turning point, and I think everybody that voted for him really hopes that it's going to make a dramatic change.
I think it's a very, very memorable moment, and it shows, how much we've grown as a country and the opportunities that we're giving to anybody who is an American over there.
This is history.
Will be a history. Will be a great day, and we need that change all over the world. We need that change. That's why we're waiting for.
But not everyone is convinced.
I think for some people, it's like his platform was change, hope, whatever. I think for some people that sends a message, but I don't think overall for the country, I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact.
I think that there's a lot of questions to be answered still about how he's going to do.
It's questionable. I hope there's some success for all of us in this, but it's yet to be determined.
And while the history of this moment is certain, others are hesitant to call it a victory for all, especially those in the faith community. But it's not all rosy.
No, it isn't all rosy, because I think what we have to do is we have to balance inspiration with a political agenda. And I think what a lot of people are doing is we're so enamored with what's going on. It's a significant moment in history, a moment unlike any other moment that we've seen or known. But I think at the same time we've got to balance his political agenda with the inspiration that he brings. And I think if we can do that, we can then begin to look critically at what he's all about, what he's trying to achieve, and then we can, believe it or not, we can disagree with some of his positions while still agreeing with his accomplishments.
Obama's positions on hot-button issues like abortion and same-sex marriage worry some. And that's why Reverend Meikle says it's important to get informed and be part of the political process.
At the end of the day, our lives are governed by the Word of God. That is for us the final arbiter, and not so much the positions of Mr. Obama. And where he lines up with the Word of God, we can support, and we can pray, and we can undergird him. And where he doesn't line up with the Word of God, our obligation is to stay consistent with the Word of God.
And faith is part of the political landscape in the U.S. Not only are the beliefs of leaders scrutinized, for better or worse, they are debated. Both presidential candidates took part in an intense pre-election discussion at Saddleback Church in California.
I watched the debates at Saddleback, and I thought it was wonderful to see how faith was intertwining with policy, and God was having a seat at the table of decision-making.
And it appears it could have a place after the election. Obama invited Pastor Rick Warren to give the inaugural invocation, a decision that raised some ire, but signaled a willingness to work together.
I trust that it was genuine. I can never tell. You just can never tell what's politicking and what's genuine. You hope that it's genuine. You hope that the agendas that they ran on, the espousal of faith that they put forth during their campaigns was genuine. And at the end of the day, you take it for what it is, and you trust that it was genuine.
Never before has so much hope and expectation been pinned on a president. And that's why Reverend Meikle says it's important to keep Barack Obama in our prayers and put Obama mania in perspective.
It is. I think it's a moment of celebration for all people, Canadians, Americans, globally. And I think we should celebrate a great historic moment while at the same time bringing balance and perspectives to the times in which we live.
Times that are about to change. In Toronto, Denise Lottie, 100 Huntley Street.